Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we will be hacking Google Cloud using 7 different tools. Now, all of these tools I found on GitHub through several different courses, a little bit from Pwn Labs, a little bit from Cyber Warfare, and I just compiled this list to just showcase a few tools that you can put in your arsenal in order to get started with Google hacking. So let's get started. And what we're going to use in order to do this is this lab right here, IAM Access Compass. We're just using the environment. So I already have this service account JSON file already downloaded. And let's go ahead and do this lab and then demonstrate the tools real quick. So as you can see, I've already configured the gcloud to use the service account. gcloud config list. As you can see, I'm using testing service account. And basically, we're going to use this SA in order to access this environment where we'll be demonstrating the tools. All of these tools I have in my playbook right here, in my automated enumeration section. They're all going to be automation tools. So this is perfect for you if you're just getting started because all we're going to be doing is enumeration. Now, I'm skipping over IP2 provider, but basically this tool, IP2 provider, is going to take a host's IP and then return for you the correct Google Cloud Service, correct cloud service provider that is being used to host the host. And so that could be GCP, Azure, or AWS. And this will tell you which one it is. Very simple to use. However, we're not going to be using this tool. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to try GCP enum. So if I look up GCP enum, it's right here by Gernbelt Warrior. Okay, not much to say about this script, but let me go ahead and use it for you to see the output. Okay, so it gets a token from our account that we're currently activated, the currently active account. And then it uses that token to run a bunch of scans, I'm guessing. Yeah, so it firstly, it ran the service account command to get all the service accounts. Oh, it looks like it then got all the buckets. So it also tests for resources. Okay, so pretty basic general script to enumerate. Instead of you having to type out all the commands yourself, this goes ahead and accesses the environment through those commands and then just kind of blurts it all out for you to see. Okay, so whilst this is running, let's go ahead and test the next tool. Now, there's a bit of a complication with CloudFox. However, I will make a different video once I get it to work. For now, we'll go ahead and skip to go to Scout Suite. Now, I have to say, Scout Suite seems to be the most promising tool for enumeration. Default credentials are not found. Okay, so when it does this error, I believe we can fix it through setting the ADC. Yeah. So after using export Google application credentials, setting that to the service account that we're using, service account JSON file, then it seems to work. So as I was saying, Scout Suite seems to be one of the most promising tools, as the GUI is it's refined, and the amount of resources, the plethora of information that's provided in such an organized fashion seems to be pretty promising, in that it has a lot of potential for us. Not only that, but I believe it does some automated scanning. And then, as I'll show you, it shows a few like red flags, like bucket configurations, different types of options and configurations that are vulnerable. It'll actually say that, and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so whilst this is starting up, let me go ahead and pause until it's done. All right, looks like we are ready. It says Scout report is ready in Firefox. So if we open up our Firefox, we will see that it's being served here, the HTML file, and we have an entire dashboard for the database that we just made, for all the resources and the IAMs that have been collected here. Now, if we go to any sort of the tabs here in the columns, let's go to, for example, storage. See the dashboard of the storage. And as you can see here, it gives you alerts by default, like bucket with logging disabled, bucket with versioning disabled, uniform bucket level access is disabled. So a very neat feature. And we press on it, it'll go to the buckets themselves. Or if we go from here, we can go to the buckets like this. Now, for example, if we wanted to delve any deeper into these buckets, we would click one. And as you can see here, it says the IAM permissions, ACL permissions, default object, ACL permissions. So going through here, there isn't actually a way to filter properly. Even this filter mechanic doesn't seem to be working all that well. However, you can download the CSV and or the JSON and then filter it yourself in your own way. Or we can use the in-browser search mechanic and look up our user like this. And we can see that our user has over this bucket, legacy bucket reader, and object viewer. So with this finding, we can then go back to our terminal and we can say gcloud storage ls to confirm this access to the buckets. And we can go ahead and do the same for the bucket that we just discovered we have access to. And as you can see, there's a secret.txt in it. Let me go over to my storage playbook. And copy the secret.txt. And if we cat it, it seems like we got the flag. Amazing. Let's move on to the next tool. So now let's go ahead and do GCP scanner. So if we want to find GCP scanner, simply GCP scanner. And it's quite self-explanatory. It scans the GCP resources, and there's a range of resources, as you can see here, that it scans or enumerates. And then it creates a JSON for us. And with this JSON, we then insert it into a visualizer. And then the visualizer seems to give us a GUI representation of everything that's being enumerated. So let's go ahead and try it out. By the way, this command is kind of neat. How it works is we use GCP scanner after installing it, of course, specify the output with the -o flag, and then specify where the directory is where the key file that we're going to use is. Now, the key file that we're going to use is the one that I downloaded in the beginning of the video. So I placed it here, so that's why I specified this current directory. Again, I'm going to pause until this is finished. All right, it's completed. So as you can see here, it provided us with this JSON, which we will upload after starting the visualizer. GCP scanner visualizer. This comes with the installed tool. And we upload it just like it's Bloodhound. Amazing. Now the scanned resources are here for us to dig into. So if we click on this resource, we'll see a service account associated with this function. Oh, and we see the service account associated with the build of it. Just some kind of metadata for the function. Now, if we go to the IAM policy, see a range of policies. For example, security viewer. We see the R account, testing service account, is a member of the service viewer role, which is quite neat. Now we can also just copy this and insert it in here. And then we'll see all the instances of our account being a member of a role, which is quite nice as well. Overall, great tool, situational awareness, and gives you a nice GUI, especially this found roles section over here, the IAM policy section. Let's move on to the next tool. We're going to get into policies and permissions. Unfortunately, I lost GC policy. I can't remember where I got this tool from, but we'll go ahead and demonstrate GCP IAM Brute, which is quite a nice tool made by actually, let's go ahead and search it. Made by Hack01. Very simple installation process. You just use the main.py and you run the tool. Okay. Let me plug this command in and then explain it to you. Okay, before we get into the fuzzing that's going on, I just want to explain that this tool is reusable without any modifications required, because in order to get the access token, it runs a command for you to get it. And in order to get the project ID, it runs another gcloud command for you to get it. As well as the service account email just gets gcloud auth list, filter status active, in the format of value is the account. So we can use this, we can reuse this command for every single environment that we attack or assess. Now, in terms of the tool itself, it's basically going to run a check against all permissions in order to find the permissions that we have. So as you can see here, it found that through the role privileged access manager project service JSON, project service agent, we have the permissions resource manager projects get IAM policy. And the ones that it's ignoring, it could not find permissions for. Now it does this a lot, as you can see, like a lot. And I'm not even sure if it's even done. Yeah, it's still going. So it basically keeps doing this, checking every single permission to give you an idea of the permissions that you have through the service account that you have obtained. All right, moving on. We're going to be trying 2 scripts from GCP IAM privilege escalation. That's literally the tool's name. So we go over to Rana Security, checking GCP IAM privilege escalation. We can see in the priv-esc scanners section that we have 2 scripts. Check for priv-esc and enumerate member permissions. Now let's go ahead and try out both. Okay, so we have to enumerate member permissions before doing the priv-esc. Okay, so it needs the access token first, so let's go ahead and get the access token. gcloud auth print access token. So after supplying it with the access token, it's going to make all of the checks in order to do a full sweep of the member permissions. Okay, so after that, we have now this JSON, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so it really did check all the permissions. Now with that, we can do the priv-esc check. So check for privesc.python. All right, so it pretty much just blurted out permissions that we have, possibly. So let's go ahead and let's check the privesc methods.txt that it made. So this one seems pretty cool in that it shows you which service accounts have which permissions over which other service accounts. So this is great for lateral movement and privilege escalation. Now, if we go ahead and do mousepad privesc, if we open it as a text file like this, and then we do the search functionality on that text file, I'm using mousepad, and we say testing. As you can see here, we have found instances where our account can be used by another account. It's not showing us any instances where our account has privileges over a different service account, which is unfortunate. But through this method, we can use this tool effectively to find privilege escalation routes and attack paths. Great tool. Amazing tool by Rhino Security. So, with these tools out of the way, let's go talk about a few tools for asset discovery. Now, I like this tool because you simply need to supply a keyword and then it'll find buckets for you. So GCP bucket brew, as you can see, it generated 1,216 bucket permutations. Now, I believe this tool is also by Rhino Security. Oh, no, it's not. Wait. GCP bucket brew. Yeah, Rhino Security, GCP bucket brew. So this is where you can get it. TLDR summary. Given a keyword, this script enumerates Google storage buckets based on a number of permutations generated from the keyword. Pretty cool. All right, let's move on. We, of course, have Cloud Enum. Now, if we use Cloud Enum with this, leave that to run whilst we check out Cloud Enum. Now, Cloud Enum is such an incredible tool. What we do here on Cloud Enum is using the -K flag, we can specify a keyword, or the -KF flag, we can specify a key file, which will include as many keywords as you want. Now, I say as many keywords as you want, but eventually you'll run into problems if you specify like a word lists for the key file or the word list for permutations with over millions of keys. You will run into a few problems. However, in this case where we're running only one keyword, we run very smoothly, as I'll show you. So we specify a keyword, and then we can disable AWS and disable Azure to fixate on GCP resources. And then what this will do is it'll check for a range of resources on the permissible cloud service provider, which in this case is just Google. So right now it's checking for the buckets, and it keeps on doing these checks until it finds publicly accessible resources for us, which is incredible for red team engagements and external audits. Looks like our other tool ran into an error. Unfortunate. Cloud Enum, multi-cloud OSINT tool. This is a great tool. This is a great tool. Enumerate public resources in AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. Amazing. And that is all for all of these tools. I hope you had enjoyed this video of all of these GCP hacking tools, enumeration tools. Please let me know if you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe, and tell me what you want to see in the future. Have you any experience with these tools? Do you know any other tools that I should have showcased? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you and goodbye.